a Ghost Garland. And there's something I forgot, which is a string. But you won't need the string till later, so we're just going to start with this part. What you're going to need is some Modpodge or Decopodge glue or Elmer's glue mixed half and half would be the ingredients for that. So if you want to do just school glue, half water, and mix it up real good. This is a piece of cheesecloth. I purchased from this little package was from Hobby Lobby. It's about 6 yards, and it comes in a nice, comes just like this in strip, and it cut. You need about 7 inches, 7.5 inches of the cheesecloth. And I would suggest at least 2 layers for each ghost that you want to do. Then I have 2 ways that you can make your ghost form for your cheesecloth to sit on top of. I have this that's a ping pong ball cut to a toilet paper roll, a wrapping paper roll, and this is about 4 inches altogether. The toilet paper roll is 3.5 inches. If you want taller ghosts, make them taller. If you want them shorter, make them shorter. I plan to make 12. The other way you can do it is if you have some balloons lying around, you just blow up the balloon in a small way like this. Tie it up. Tape it on your form. And then you have another form. This is would be a little bit bigger. If you like that, it's going to be all together, 6 3/4. So up to you on what you want to do. If you don't have ping pong balls, totally fine. Just go get some balloons. They work fantastic. And the other nice thing about balloons is you can stick a needle in them, and when everything's dry, it takes about 24 hours to dry everything, and they'll just kind of shrink out of your form a lot easier. Whereas with the ping pong bottles, you do have to pull at them a little bit, but it's not that big a deal. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And also, totally optional, glitter. I like to put a little glitter on my projects. It's just how I am. So here we go. Alright, so again, the first thing you want to do is, this kind of comes out, it's about 8.5 inches wide, and then it's 6 yards of fabric. So what I've done is, off camera, I just folded it up 7-inch pieces. And I've sped up this section to make it go a little faster. And here we go. On a smaller piece. Let me try that again. Okay, so there's your square, and you're just going to round out and cut off these corners a little bit. And there you go. You have a rounder piece for your ghost. Okay, so now I've got my rounds. I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting these. And I'm not going to throw the scraps away, and because sometimes the scraps make the best kind of tattery additions to pieces. So right here, I lost my audio on this section by accident. So what I'm going to do is just explain what I'm doing here. So right here, what I'm doing is I've made up these toilet paper rolls and the foam ping pong balls and taped them on all together. And the next thing you want to do is cover your table, and you may want some gloves for this next part. And I'm taping them all down to the paper so that when I put the glued on pieces, after I dip them in the glue material, I tested this, they fall over. So if you don't tape them down to the table a little bit, it makes it harder. Plus, then you're not having to like pick them up and try to put them somewhere every time. You can kind of just drape them over like a assembly line and make them all cute. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm going to speed up the rest of this until we get to the gluing. Oh, and actually we're here at the gluing part. So the glue as Modpodge, just Modpodge. If you're going to use Elmer's glue, just use half water, half Elmer's glue, or some kind of school glue. The reason I like Modpodge the most is because it has a sealer inside it, and it holds up better than Elmer's glue. But if you're just making this for fun and you don't need it to be super strong or have a sealant in it, then just use the Elmer's glue. Works just fine. Lots of things that I've used Elmer's glue with have lasted many, many years. And I just prefer the Mod Podge. And I know that there's a recipe that you can make, kind of a similar thing to Mod Podge that has a sealant in it, but I don't know what that recipe is. Maybe I'll look it up one day. Anyway, so this is just me dipping each piece of cheesecloth in, and you want to, pull off any excess, squeeze it out like a washcloth, and then put it on as many layers as you want your ghost to be. If you want them more transparent, you want to use less layers. If you want them to be less transparent, then you want to use more layers. Pretty easy stuff. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and speed this up till the end, and we'll go from there. Okay, I apologize. I did add my glitter to the ghost. It's a really fine white glitter. I'm sure you can see. Best to apply while the glue is wet. I just put a little bit on the tops. I did not go crazy with it, I don't think. I just had this little tiny container. And I like adding a little sparkle to my pieces, my work. Part 2. Friends, part 2 of our Ghost Garland is about to begin. If you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, follow. I am the Fairy Haven Keeper. My videos are all about DIY crafts and shopping and art and just adding a little magic and fantasy and folklore into everything that I try to create. I hope that you'll follow me along on this journey for part 2 of my garland. If you can see, I have my ghosts, our beautiful cheesecloth ghosts that we made. As you can see, I added some glitter in mine just for fun. I just do stuff like that sometimes. And they came out super cute and super adorable. And right now, what I'm going to do is be putting eyes on all of the ghosties. I don't think I'll do mouths. You can do mouths if you want to. And I might trim some of these edges so they look a little more tattery or whatever if I want to. So what you'll need for that is you need some good scissors, fabric scissors, I recommend. You're going to need some fishing line, more glitter if you want to do that. I have all kinds of Halloween ribbons here and different things that I may or may not use in this video as I go along. And frankly, I'm just sort of undecided about what exactly my garland will look like. I have an idea in my head, but it may not come out that way, or I may decide something different. So follow me along, and of course, as you go about doing what you want to do, yours might look like mine or might not look like mine at all. And I hope that you will create with me as we go along. All of these ribbons I got from the dollar store, from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's. You can get them online. The fishing line can be purchased at any, Walmart or sporting goods store. It's just string that looks invisible. And the other thing you might want to have on hand are some pipe cleaners. The pipe cleaners just help you tighten things up without having to glue it. And also hot glue gun, just in case you need to glue something on that you come up with. So we'll go ahead and start. Again, this is part 2. They're all dry and ready to go. Have this beautiful ribbon I think I'm going to start out with and attach my ghosts to. But the first thing I need to do is put eyes on all my ghosts, and I'm going to do that with a little hot glue and a little felt. And I'm going to just cut a strip of my felt off. And I'm going to do some pieces in half, like this. And I have about 13 ghosts. Don't ask me how I got to that number when I was making them. I didn't realize I was making 13. I thought I was only making 12. But when you make yours, make as many as you want. So I'm just going to cut some circles out for my eyes using my scissors. And I'm just going to do some tests to see if I like this size or if they're too weird or not big enough or whatever. The other thing you might be able to do is use a hole puncher to hole punch some eyes. That might be easier, possibly. I don't know. But you could try it. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. They seem to be the right size-ish. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those on. Just put a little dab of glue. Hot glue. And there you go. Your first ghost. And then the other thing I want to do is add a piece of fishing line. And this is so that I can tie my ghost to my ribbon a little easier. I'm going to take the two ends and hold them together like this, and then I'm going to try and poke them up through my ghost's head, and or I might be able to stick it through some holes in the top if your glue isn't too thick and you have some spots to do that. Maybe. Now if you don't seem to see any holes, you can put a couple little holes in it with your scissors. Needle, I'm going to poke a hole, 2 holes in my ghost here. See if I can get that thread to come up in the center. And I'm going to go ahead and use my fishing line like a sewing thread and go back through my holes on my ghost. So it's a little trickier than I anticipated. I'm going to pull this quite far so that I don't have to rethread this a lot. I've sped this section up for your convenience, but basically I had to go get a needle. I put the fishing line on the needle, threaded it through, and then poked 2 holes in the top of the ghost head and tied the string on there so that I can use the string to tie to the ribbon. And I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of these ghosts, put their eyes on, and string them up, and I'll see you at the end of this. Please enjoy this Halloween music as you craft. Just keep plugging along till you get them all done, and then we'll start assembling. I'm going to pause this video so you can just keep going with your ghosts, and we'll be right back when we do the assembly. Alright, my friends, we're back, and I want to show you what I've done so far with the ghosts. I have selected this ribbon. It's a beautiful purple ribbon with these kind of black satin skulls and floral leaves on it. And I've attached my ghost with the fishing line to every 5 or so inches. This is what I'm using instead of twine. And then as I've gone along, I decided that some of them needed some more glitter. So I glittered the top of their heads a little more. I added all their eyes. And now I'm going to show you what you need to do to attach the remainder of your ghosts. I have 2 left to show you. I've got this one. I'm going to take his string and I'm going to, from the last ghost, I'm going to measure what I've been doing is 4 or 5 inches apart, and I'm just simply tying the ghost to the ribbon just like that. And then I'm doing sort of a drippy pattern on my ghost to add the additional glitter. Okay, and there you are. And then I just have this last one that I'm going to attach with its string. I'm just tying it on. And these ghosts, they all hang a little bit differently because I didn't measure out exactly how much fishing line I wanted to use on each one. I think it adds to the interest if they sort of hang at different heights. For me, it's okay. So, tie it on, and then I'm going to use my hot glue, and I'm going to try to avoid the fishing line because it's hot enough to it'll sort of sever the fishing line if I'm not careful. And I'm sure some of these ghosts already lost their heads. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. So there you are. And this is now my ghosty garland. And I'm going to show you it hung up on my sort of curio cabinet. Stand by. Okay, my friends, and here we are. My ghost garland. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm the Fairy Haven Keeper, and I'm glad that I got to share this little project with you. I hope that your Halloween is full of fun and whimsy, and you make something cute and wonderful for yourself or for others, and be happy. Anyway, if you like my content, please like, subscribe, follow me on my social channels. I go by the Fairy Haven Keeper on all of the social channels. And I would really appreciate comments too. Bye-bye.